Trading already for a new startup, for a person that's beginning, this is one of the hardest things that exists. Like, it's very hard. It's hard. But it's beatable. And you have to do everything opposite to what you think this industry tells you should do. Try to get money real fast. Try to get rich real quick. Try to over leverage. You only make money with big positions. You can't get rich trading small. Bullshit. These are people that are working 2 jobs, hoping you're going to buy their bullshit online. So they don't have to work their second part-time job, because they sure as ain't making it in the fucking market. Where are the results? Just getting a funded certificate is nothing. You can't buy groceries with that. You can't fill your gas tank with it. You can't make your ends meet with that. You have to have visibility past that. And so many of you young folks are only seeing just that. And you think something magical is going to happen when you get to that funded account. You know it is. It's going to be funny. Something magically happens. Your give a is going to go through the roof, because now you're going to be scared shitless about every trade you take. Because the combine is, oh, I'll just reset it. No. Because now at the funded level, it's not just reset that bitch. It's, oh, I got to reset, get the combine done, and then go back into that funded account position all over again. And chances are, if you're learning anything from all that, is next to nothing. Because you haven't controlled yourself. You have not presented a rule-based routine, a protocol that you have to follow. And the number one thing that you have to do is remove the interest in making a lot of money fast. Everybody blows it doing that. That's the surefire, guaranteed approach that you're going to blow your shit, blow your account, fail as a fucking trader when you're trying to push too fucking hard, too fast. You're telling me some guy walks up to you every fucking week, gives you $80 3 times a fucking week. You're going to give that guy a middle finger and say, "Fuck you, man. Don't you ever come up to me again and give me that fucking $80. I just gave that to you here. I just told you exactly how to beat the out of these funded accounts. Every company out there. But it's going to take, I got to pay monthly pay. You're paying bills, folks, okay? I'm rich. I'm loaded. I'm fucking money. And guess what I still have every month? People holding their hands out. Yeah, you owe me $1,600 for this. You owe me $5,000 for that. You owe me $6,000 for that. I got bills. I got bigger bills than all of you. But I still have them. Living like this costs. More money, more problems. But bills are going to be paid. They have to get paid. Guess what? When you trade with a real brokerage account, guess what you're paying? You're paying fees and you're paying commissions. What do you think is going to happen when you start trading with a real account and you want to trade successfully and you're trading 500-600 contracts a month? Your commission bill is going to be fucking ridiculous if you just simply focus on that. Oh, I can't do this. This is cutting into my P&L. Of course it is. But if you learn how to fucking trade, it won't matter. You'll outpace all that stuff. That's the whole point of me teaching you. I teach and have taught how to outpace inflation. I teach and I have taught students how to make money. And you have seen them. You have seen them come forward with their evidence, their proof. You are next. Stop worrying about the next student that's going to be interviewed by me. You are the one. You're the fucking next one. You're it. But you want to turn this into a fucking spectacle where I want to entertain myself and watch vicariously from afar. I want to see what everybody else is doing because I'm too chicken shit to get out there and do what's required to do it myself. And the whole time you're working with fucking Carl. Come Monday, you're doing the same fucking shit, making the same Mickey Mouse fucking wages and never changing shit because you're too fucking stubborn. You're too fucking stubborn. You don't want to listen. You don't want to listen. And what have you shown for yourself by doing that? Square one, baby. You're still there. It's time to pull up the tent stakes, pack the fucking tent, Move on down the road and pitch a tent further, closer towards your fucking goals. That coffee shop fucking job, that is a fucking embarrassment. You should look at that and say, you know what? I'm 18 now. I'm making a change. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Dad said do this, and Dad said don't do that. I'm going to stay in those lines. I want to be able to say, Dad, it worked, or if it didn't work, Dad, you didn't do it right, and I failed because you told me to do this. That's exactly what I gave him. I gave him that fucking power. He personally doesn't fail. I do. So where's the fucking complication here? None. It's all on me. I'm 50 years old, about to be 51, 2 weeks. Spinal compression injuries, but my back is strong enough. I can carry all of you, okay? I can carry all of you, but you have to listen. You have to fucking listen. If you don't listen, if you don't have these rule-based ideas, controlling expectations, how fast you make money can ruin you. Meteoric rises in equity increases absolutely can fucking crush you. What the hell did you just say? Yep. When people get into large sums of money, okay, and I'm going to give you an experience when I was a younger guy. I came from a very, very, very low income family. And I'm talking fucking low income. But I didn't feel like I was from a low income family because we didn't measure things on the basis of money. We were a family, dysfunctional, a lot of drunks and alcoholics in my family, which was the reason why I don't drink and I don't do those types of things, because I watched what it did to their lives. And I was taking note. Like I said, I was a journaler, okay? And I wrote all this shit down as a kid, and it made a great impact on me. So I saw what unsuccessful living looks like, and I wasn't going to do those things. I didn't need anybody to say, hey, your family's full of fucking failures, and if you do what they're doing, you shouldn't expect to see much better. I didn't need that. I was fucking aware. Okay. I wasn't inebriated. I wasn't medicated where I didn't notice the obvious. But everybody else in my family got caught up in that shit. So I don't have a problem with someone telling me, do this, don't do that, if they're doing better than me. I don't have a problem with that. I actually coveted that as a young man. I was looking for a mentor. I was looking for someone outside of books and VHS tapes and DVDs and whatever else I can get my hands on at the time. And 99.99999 fucking percent of all of it was absolute fucking bullshit. It never fucking made me money. Not one bit of that horse shit made any bit of money for me. When I took everything that they said, inverted it, and looked for specific times of the day where they would capitalize on that bullshit. Well, out comes Inner Circle Trader. Here I am. But I'm from a modest upbringing. I wasn't born with a silver spoon up my ass. But I appreciate risk. I am aware of what can be lost in a trade, more so than I'm trying to make. And when you look at viewerships of a specific person or a company or some kind of entity that is a trading expert or whatever it is, everybody has a hive mentality. They have a team mentality, okay? So our community gets a lot of flack because, number one, I like in these presentations where I'm unorthodox and animated sometimes and dramatic and other times and just basically unstable. I don't give a fuck what anybody's opinion of me is, because I'll beat the shit out of them in the fucking market. I'll trade outside their fucking ass and literally run circles around them. That's why nobody's fucking doing shit, and we're still here and we're closing the year and nobody actually fucking did it. You have to have these rule-based ideas. You have to have them, because if you have them, it removes all doubts about what it is you should be focusing on. How much money should you be risking? What happens if I have a loss? Nothing. You just think a loss. It was a tax. That's all it is. When you're trading with a micro and you let that profit grow over time, you're allowing yourself, okay? You're allowing yourself to grow into new money. When I was younger, I didn't know what it was like to have money. I literally had no idea what it was like to have anything that would be considered good money. I worked menial, shitty ass fucking jobs, the minimum wage threshold, that's where it was. Okay. And then, I started my studies for computer science. And even then, I was doing a menial fucking job. I worked at a bookstore at the school. When students would come in, they would purchase their books, or they would come in and redeem them for a credit to go towards something else. I worked in that setting. And guess what I was fucking doing at the time? Most of you would have been sitting on your fucking ass playing on your smartphones or whatever, but we didn't have a smartphone back then. But if it was given the opportunity today, that's what you would have been doing. Or you're listening to your headphones, like the guy that would relieve me. And when I would end my shift, he would come on and he'd bring his little fucking Walkman in and be listening to his bullshit, whatever. He's a student just like I am. You know what I was fucking doing? I was in there reading the fucking books, taking notes in the fucking books. I didn't need to buy the fucking books. I'd read them already. I wrote down all the fucking notes that I needed to do, and boom. My GPA was fucking awesome because I took every advantage of the immediate availability to what was available for resources, what was available to me in terms of time for studying. I didn't fuck around. And when I was younger, I was all in this. And the fruits of it is what you see today. Like, I can literally go out there and do whatever the fuck I'm doing right now in any time frame. And it still will look like I'm doing it like I've always done. Because it's the same fucking thing. No matter what time frame, whatever fucking market. Just don't ask me to do it in crypto because I won't do it. Or synthetic, what's it called? Synthetic indices. Somebody else. A lot of Africans ask me about that. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I don't do anything with it. But crypto and that aside, doesn't matter what market it is. Everything I'm teaching you, it works there. Period. There's only certain aspects between Forex and futures that has a small, and I'm talking very, very small, marginal effect of time. And those being the very specific times of the day that certain setups will form. And I've already taught it. It's already in the YouTube videos. It's there. Okay. So many of you probably heard before, but I gave you a very specific element of controlling risk. And yes, it does slow down your expectations of making the big money, because like I mentioned, and it ain't going to make sense to you until you do it, when you have your first profitable trade or a series of profitable trades and you have your first profitable month. Okay. When you close the month out and it's profitable and you start doing the math on that, and you say, okay, do I do that every month this year and every year going forward, assuming you're going to have that same rate of success? And you can't have that. Don't expect that in your mindset, you're going to do this every month. Don't do that. Okay. I believe in setting goals. I believe in doing all those types of things. But I tell you as a new trader, don't expect those types of things in the beginning. That's a couple years into your trading. A couple years. Do I think after a year to 18 months that someone can consistently do 6% per month? Absolutely. Absolutely. For the folks that have never done any advanced math beyond rudimentary math or applied it to risk management, it doesn't matter how much you have at the start if you understand how to use compound interest. Compound interest in the hands of someone that's capable, all you have to do is find something that repeats, that's measurable, just has a statistical probability of repeating more times than not in the future, and you have a fixed position in terms of how much money you can lose. Now, I'm saying that with quotations in the air with my fingers, okay? Because for purposes of CFTC regulations and required risk disclaimers that I can't show you here, past performance is not indicative of future results, and you can lose more than you have in your account. Putting that aside, because that's reality, you're opening yourself up to risk by having that specific number of handles of stop loss. In my son's case, I told him his model needs to be 20 handles. That allows for a lot of wiggle room. On a 1 minute chart, it gives you a lot of wiggle room. Because if your setup's really there, it's not going to fuck around and go against you when the fair value gets traded into, it's not going to rip through that bitch 20 handles and still go the other direction. That's not happening. Okay, that's not happening. And you only have one chance. So don't take my word for it. Go through the study of a 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock time interval and see how many times the fair value gap trades down to it and rips through it 20 handles and then comes back up and still goes inside of that hour. Remember, your execution has to be within 10 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock. Somebody's going to come in here. Look at this here. It went back down to it at 11:15, so you're full of shit. Wrong. You didn't fucking listen. You can't follow rules. This is the reason why you're failing. Some of you don't need a dad. You need to have your ass kicked. You need to be grabbed by the fucking lapels and shook and say, listen to me. You are not paying attention. You're not listening to the videos. You're asking me fucking questions or pointing out things that I said in the first 10 fucking minutes. How on earth do you expect to beat these fucking institutions that run this shit if you can't even pay attention to a fucking lecture? You have to block out all the bullshit. You got to get focused, dialed the fuck in. It's not going to happen overnight. It ain't going to be easy for a lot of you. But once you get this understanding, the work's over. You just have to implement it. But you got to have rules. You have to have rules. You have to stick to that rules of engagement. If you don't stick to it, you're going to fucking lose money. And you're going to lose money to the degree where you end up losing your account. And guess what happens then? You have a hard decision. Do you start all over again? Or do you pack it in and say, it ain't for me? If you have done the work of trying to trade, okay? If you tried to study how to trade and you tried to trade with money before you were ready, and because you failed by trying to trade with real money, and you do not have minimum 6 months of consistency with a rule-based idea using what I've taught or anybody else's bullshit, and you're saying because you lost money with a real account, you're done, you're quitting, you're not a fucking trader. You're doing the best thing for yourself. You're absolutely making the best decision for yourself. But if you have 6 months of real data where you followed a rule-based idea, you were managing risk, you're not in there fucking playing cowboy, maximum leverage and trying to see what happens. Because when you do that maximum leverage shit, number one, you can't do that consistently with live funds and expect to survive it. You can't. Nobody can fucking do that as a new trader. You can't do it. You're not going to be the person that does it, okay? And trust me when I'm telling you that with love and sincerity. I'm not trying to tell you you're fucking stupid or a moron. I'm saying that you literally are not equipped to do that. Because if you've never made money with maximum leverage and you've never seen that kind of profit come into your hands, it literally causes you to go fucking stupid, like crazy. Like you think you see everything in a chart now, and your impulsiveness, and because you're hopped up. That when I say you're hopped up on goofballs, it's just a funny expression for me to explain to you that you've lost all sense of rational thinking. You have the feeling, imagine you won the lottery and it was the $750 million or $1 billion bullshit that they say that exists, and you won that. Try to describe what that might feel. You can't even come close to it because you're never going to be there. But the person that would be there, they're euphoric. They're out of their fucking mind. And that feeling, because you've never been there before, will make you think that you are better than you really are, and you're going to go in there and do the same thing again when there ain't a setup. Somebody with a rule-based idea, a rule-based protocol to trading and assuming risk and managing that risk appropriately, will say, I've done my executions, I've entered and ended the trade, I'm done. My rules say I can only do one setup. I don't give a fuck how much it runs. There's going to be all the people out there, oh, but ICT saying you shouldn't do this. And listen, for the fucking people that say that shit, come forward with your fucking results. Okay? Come forward with your fucking results, because nobody's got time for your Mickey Mouse fucking opinions. I sure as fucking don't have the time for it. I got till November. I'm looking at my fucking watch here. We ain't got much fucking time. Bring your shit. Bring your fucking shit or remain silent, because I'm done. I'm fucking done. I stayed a year longer on this fucking application on Twitter, longer than I wanted to be. Bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. You want to learn how to make money? Fine. Show up, roll your fucking sleeves up, take notes, and listen. Do everything I say to do, and don't do the things I say not to do. Expect it to take a minimum of a year. Minimum. Because there's things that you have to practice. There's things that you have to look forward to and see if they pan out. If they don't pan out, what does that make you feel like as a trader? What does it give you in terms of impulsiveness? Does it make you feel like you got to do something to fix that problem? Do you feel uncomfortable about being wrong? Those are things that people don't realize until they go through it. But they put blinders on and say, fuck it, that doesn't really exist. I need to go into the next trade and over leverage. I need to refund my fucking shit. I got to reset my stuff. I got to go out here and make the world believe I'm a good fucking trader. I got to show my stuff on the internet. I got to do a MyFX book because nobody believes that I'm making profits. Nobody gives a fuck if you're making profits. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck that I'm making money. Nobody gives a shit. Why are you worrying about fucking shit that doesn't make any more fucking money for you? But you're increasing your fucking concern about shit that's going to have more negative impact than it's going to help you positively. I don't understand how many fucking people can have their head so far up their own ass that they can't see that that's counterproductive. You'll do all that extracurricular bullshit that's going to hold you back and distract you from actually doing the work than simply doing 25% of the effort you're doing to do everything opposed to following instructions and then finding the success that you say doesn't fucking exist. It's asinine. I don't understand. I don't understand why so many fucking people drag their feet. It's for free. It's fucking proven it fucking works. It's proof. Come on. Seriously, why the fuck are you waiting around? Get in there and start. Don't tinker with the fucking rules. Don't bring your bullshit. GAN is not part of this fucking discussion. Unless I talk about it. Unless it's part of the fucking issue and the model that's being exposed, and as far as this is the time you're going to trade. This is the time where if you don't have a trade and it's this time of the day, you cannot take a trade. I don't give a fuck if anything happens after that. You can't trade. Period. That right there cancels about 75% of you. Well, I can't do it because, okay. I'm not going to stop fucking being me. I'm not going to stop living my life. I'm not going to stop being who I am because a certain percentage of my viewership can't do something. You said you can't. I didn't say you can't. You fucking said you can't. Because you said you can't, I fucking believe you. I absolutely believe that you can't do it. I believe you. You don't have to argue with me. You don't have to convince me. It's a settled matter. You said you can't, therefore you can't. When you change your mind and say, I can, I believe you. You don't need to convince me. I absolutely have proof that you can. Before you get your proof, I already know you can. But I'm in a position where I don't need to be swayed. I don't need to prove shit to nobody else. The proof's already out there. And I'm inviting all of you to simply investigate it on your own, and that way you'll find it for yourself. And when you get it, even if it's the $80 win, $80 a couple times a week, you know what that does? That pays for your fucking groceries. Yeah. It pays for a car payment, maybe a cell phone bill in addition to that. And then what happens over time? Wow. You know, I'm really learning how to do this. I can now apply more effort and more equity. And then you compound that same cookie cutter approach that you've been doing with a micro account, micro contract. Now you're trading minis. And eventually dozens of them. And guess what happens then? Your frequency of trading drops. What did you say? Wait a minute, I'm already got my calculator here and I'm doing 50 contracts of NASDAQ at this, and I'm trying to do it Monday through Friday. And this motherfucker just came out and said, trade less. Trade less? Man, what is this guy on? I'm on the reality tip. Because when you start making 5 figures a week, why the fuck are you going to push it? Live your life. Live it. some of you, not all of you, some of you would find the very existence that's going to be absolutely phenomenal for you, and you don't have to make $1 million a year. Many of you think that you have to be a millionaire every year over and over and over again, or you're not successful. That's bullshit. Because the person that finds their income and then a surplus income beyond that, outside of their job, and they no longer need their job and they fire their boss, I'm going to tell you, that's a person that's walking on fucking clouds right now. They're absolutely comfortable inside their own skin. And they're not the ones out here trying to prove it to anybody because they don't give a fuck. They have got a lifestyle now that they are not plugging into social media, which is 90% of horseshit and fucking negativity. They're not giving a fuck if somebody doesn't believe. You think they care who doesn't believe that they're doing what they're doing? They don't even know these people exist that doubt what they do. They don't give a shit. And that's how I've been. And I'm going back to that in November. I don't give a fuck who doesn't like me, who doesn't believe in me, I don't give a shit. But I have left my fucking legacy in this fucking industry, and you can do whatever you want to do with it. You want to shoot holes through it? Okay, come with the data. You want to come here and say, well, it wasn't as good as he thought it was. Okay, well, show us what you did and how you fucking failed at it. What did you do? Where and how did you use the information? I guarantee you did it wrong. But I took notes. I see, here's 5 pages of some scribbly ass bullshit. I took notes. It's like my son. Dad, do I have to watch all these fucking videos? What the fuck did you just say to me? What did you just say to me? Well, I'll just ask. You were just what? You were just what? The whole fucking reason why I'm making these fucking videos is for you and your brothers. I don't need to do these fucking videos. I'm doing it in case something ever happens to me. My mindset, the things that I codified are actually accessible to you. You won't even understand my fucking journals unless you listen to this shit. So it's in the youth. It's not, my son's not even exempt from it. It's just everybody wants it easy. And truth be told, if I believed that it was an easier way, when I was younger, because I already knew it was going to be hard. Like I knew it was going to be hard. And that's why I said, I'm going to give myself 20 years. I'm going to give myself 20 years because it's going to take a long time, making money, lose money. And I'm going to probably mess it up here and there. And I just think that if I get to when I'm 40 and I have $1 million in the bank, I'm set. Now, mind you, I'm thinking I have a house. Doesn't need to be a big house like this one. It just needs to be a house and a car or two. And maybe I have a dog and I have a wife and some kids or whatever. And I'm comfortable. I'm not trying to live above my means. I just don't want to have to work when I'm 40 years old into the grave. That was my plan. That was my goal for myself. It wasn't get rich. It wasn't drive Lamborghinis. It wasn't any of that stuff. It wasn't a jet set life. It was just being able to do whatever I wanted to do when I wanted to do it and not have to worry about, am I going to be able to make my bills if I spend that money? Because I didn't come from rich. I didn't come from that. And when you start making money and in the visibility of being able to make more money that wasn't available to you, like your mind is closed to that. As much as you want to say, I can see myself, you're saying you would like that, but you can't really see it. Because if you can see it, if you really could see it, nothing's holding you fucking back. Not anybody that's doubting you and your family or friend circle, and anybody online. None of that shit's going to be an impediment. Nothing's going to slow you down. You're not going to hear the bullshit that anybody's going to say about it. And that's exactly what I felt when I was 20. November 5th, 1992 at 9 p.m. on a Thursday evening, I cracked that book open. And when I was done reading it, and you're probably asking for the first time if you're listening for the first time, what book were you reading? It was some piece of shit book written by Ken Roberts. I spent too much money on. It was supposed to be a course on commodity trading. And it was really just an introduction, very, very oversimplification of something that would have otherwise been useless to anyone. But some people have made money with it. And it was just one of those things where they got lucky. You know, it was a big move. And he taught long-term daily chart trading where you hold on to a position for weeks and maybe a couple months, which that doesn't fit me. But when I finished that book, I had a new appreciation for money, number one. And two, it gave me an exit. Because at that moment, I was thinking, I really want to be able to use my education and be a systems analyst and basically work with programmers and work for companies that, you know, they have a function they need done, and work with an IT group and say, okay, this is what they need, and we got to go through and make this for this company. So that was what I wanted to do. And I no longer wanted to do that. November 5th, 1992 at 11:30. I was literally excited about something I barely knew anything about. And how many times my uncle brought it up when I was a younger teenager. You know, I was 14, 15, 16 years old every Sunday. You know, richest people in the world trade futures and options, Michael. Like, I was being conditioned. I was being primed. So I know the Lord had this for me. Like he had every intentions of me being who I am. The failures I've had is where I've allowed my instabilities, somebody that's bipolar, you know, I don't always come across in an articulate manner. Sometimes I use language that isn't very, well, easy on the ears. And I'll swing from one way to the other. But there's no denying that what he's laid in my hands is absolutely the closest thing to a holy grail than there's ever been. The problem is you're going to want to use it more times than you should. It's kind of like when you're a teenager and you discovered sex for the first time. You know, man, that was great. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And some of you men still feel that way. maybe the ladies too, but you have to have a time and place to do it. And you have to be able to use protection. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to multiply losing trades, and nobody wants a lot of unwanted children that the broken family will many times victimize. And I was from a fractured family. So I grew up in this world with a chip on my shoulder. I wanted to prove that even though my parents didn't want anything to do with me, I'm going to make them regret that. Even still today, they don't give a fuck. Like, you would think, hey, Michael, this is crazy what you were able to do. Wow. Not one thing, nothing like that. But they both had their hand out for money, though. My son has the best fucking cheerleader he would ever fucking have. Because I've been where all of you are and less than. I've been homeless. I was sleeping in a Mustang with my oldest son, laying in the front seat, no car seat. I was broke. Yeah. Filed bankruptcy in 1998 just to fucking go into a courtroom to tell his mother, I don't have any money. That's the extent I was willing to go. My son, who this whole presentation was about and circled around, doesn't have that problem. He has someone that is absolutely available all the time, wants to absolutely spend every waking fucking minute building him up. I don't know any of you. But when you finally go through marriage counseling with yourself and you fix all the problems that you have, that's what happened for me. I was the one holding it all back. You know, it was me. Over leveraging, over trading, trying to find setups that really wasn't there, forcing my will in the trade, taking my external desires of either depression or embarrassment because my first wife left me for an older man. All those things were problematic for anyone, whether they had the same mental baggage that I have or not. That's a hard pill to swallow. And then On top of it, your parents don't want nothing to do with you. And then you lose the only parent that you had or envisioned as, which was my grandfather. So I had all the fucking recipe of a comeback underdog story. And none of that is an excuse for me to lean on and say, that's the reason why I couldn't make it. It was always me. It was always me. It was my reactions to all those things. All of you had things done to you. Some of you have had worse physical things done to you than me that have scarred you. Some of you, you don't have any knowledge of who your parents are. Maybe you discovered that you were adopted and it's like, why would my parents even just give me away? How could you do that? Yeah, I get these types of emails from students, and it holds them back. You can't change that stuff. Just like Cameron, he can't change the fact that he had that many attempts and that many failures. So he wrestles with that. Well, you either grow past that and say, okay, that was just a moment during this journey. I stumped my toe there, but it didn't put me in a wheelchair where I can't walk the rest of the way. You're literally going to have this in the rest of your life. You're going to have drawdown. You're going to have periods where you just can't find your groove, and you have to give yourself permission to stop trading. That means stop for a week or two. Don't try to push it really hard, and don't take external reasons for you to want to feel better about yourself or mask an uncomfortable situation you may be going through in your personal life. Maybe a divorce, maybe it could be a number of things. Whatever it is that's making you feel like you need some kind of distraction from that pain or that misery. The worst thing you can do is take that to the marketplace and say, here, reward me for doing this and make me feel better. Like you're picking up the charts and rubbing it like a genie in a lamp, and like, answer my wishes, do my bidding, answer to my will. And you're not even looking at it objectively when you're like that. You're in pain. You need some kind of, like I said, perfect distraction. And I was doing that in the beginning. That's most of what I was doing every single time I traded. And it's something you don't identify until you hit rock bottom. Not once, not twice, but a few times. And if you still feel like you want to be here trying to learn how to do this, you are a trader. You just haven't found your consistency or the model that you get. Anybody that says, I quit, I'm not doing this, but you can't imagine living life without doing this, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. So just admit the fact that you're at a point right now, you're frustrated, and that's normal. I quit dozens of times when I was younger, but really that was a code word for I need a break. And that break only was long enough until I had enough money to put back into the account. It's the way it was, folks. That's exactly what it was. And you should be encouraged by that. Because I don't want to be the catalyst to talk anybody out of doing this, because I think this is one of the last best opportunities to become extremely comfortable, but with the potential to make whatever you want to make. But you have to be comfortable accepting periods where you lose money. And it might be a series of them. And if you can't control yourself, if you can't identify the fact that, okay, I had a losing trade, I want to get that back, I'm mad, I'm regretful, I didn't see it like I should have. Okay, is that the proper state of mind before you put on a new trade? Fuck no. So you stop. That's why these rules are here for him, because he couldn't. And then when he would get mad, just putting the trade on just to see what would happen, and then ready to take the credit if he was right, like he did something. You ever been there before? Because that sounded like something I did when I was younger too. That's gambling. That is gambling. And I don't promote gambling. I don't promote that gambler's mindset. There has to be a reason for you to take that trade. If there isn't a sound reason to take that trade or stay in it, there's no reason for your stop loss to get hit. If everything in that chart is saying that it's not going to pan out, it's definitely, you're wrong, concede and say, okay, I'm done. And don't go back in for that day. No matter what happens. The learning experience that you get without losing money is astronomical. And the times that you do that and you were right because it goes the other direction, that is a learning experience that is so powerful that no book, no video course, no example of me doing it in front of you doesn't have the same impact. You learn by doing. And experience is going to be your best mentor. The only thing I've been is the conduit to say, hey, here's a language. Look at the charts. This is what it's telling you. Do you understand what it's speaking to you and saying, hey, this is what I'm trying to do? Are you ready? Because if you're not, I don't give a shit. I'm still going. And if you weren't ready, you just wait for the next one. Like in the beginning, you're new and you feel like that was the only fucking trade I'm ever going to have. Why did I miss that? That's infancy talking. It's like a baby, a child, when you take their toy from them to make them get up in the chair to eat dinner, and they can have the toy back and they're done eating, but they don't want to do that. They want to have it their way. It's infancy. That's all it is. And I'm not talking down to you because I know exactly what that felt like for me. You want to have it your way, on your timing. And guess what? The market says, I don't give a fuck what you want. And what time I'm going to do it, it's my time, not yours. You better be here when I'm doing it. That's how it is. So to remove all the ambiguity, all the guesswork, he has a start time. He has to be in front of his computer at 9:45 or on his phone checking it at 9:45. He has to be on duty until 10:59. Because at 11 o'clock, his shift is over. Now, if he's in a trade and it's going past 11 o'clock, he hasn't hit his target, he still holds it. But the initial entry, that execution has to happen between 10 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, to me, I don't want him to take that trade. But at 10:59, he can. But why would you have a rule like that? Because that's how strict I am. I want him only on that time. I don't want him looking at anything past 11 o'clock. That tells you I have pressed on you the importance of that hour. There's something going on in that hour that I can't tell you, but this pattern, this model, this approach to trading capitalizes on it. And this is the closest fucking thing I can get you to it without telling it and getting myself in trouble. And it's the same thing that's happening at 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's the same fucking thing that's happening at 3 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the morning, New York local time. It's algorithmic. It's doing something it was going to do regardless of how many people buy and sell. Period. End of story. That's all I'm going to say about it.